said.
Delete, 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 delete.
Yeah, after he freaking fucked his legs up for the rest of his life because he was jumping off of 20-foot things. I don't know how wise that was. What do you call it? Thank you guys for bearing with us here at Snug Wrestling. Just been going through some technical difficulties. We know it was supposed to be 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. I know it's looking really 10-ish right now, but
Jesus Christ.
it wouldn't be Snug Wrestling without Streamlabs deciding to fuck with us. But just bear with us. We are live again. Everybody come on in. Enjoy yourselves. We'll give us a moment.
For real.
Technical difficulties with Snug Wrestling.
We can make it just based off of the technical difficulties that we have.
Now that I notice it, I'm not happy with
it. But it would be a movie nonetheless.
Now that I just looked over and saw my orange pair of V8 glasses, I noticed that I made the T too short. So I'm going to fix that after this.
All right. Let's try this again, y'all. The fifth time is the charm, I swear.
Only on Streamlabs.
Oh man. Hopefully we get the we get the people that we had come back. But oh well. All right, y'all. Damn, I don't even know how to start this fucking thing now. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Snug Wrestling Podcast. Sorry for the delays. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but we're here now for real this time, and we're going to do our Night of Champions predictions because this show apparently is still taking place in Saudi Arabia, so the show must go on, so we should as well. And Mr. Blood, you put out a very interesting episode of The Blood Drop earlier today, which is going to be on Apple Podcasts and Spotify earlier, where you kind of went over why this didn't really feel like Night of Champions to you because there's only going to be 2 championships actually being defended, which is the United States Championship and John Cena's Undisputed title, right?
Exactly. I think it's pretty ridiculous because they went ahead and moved Bayley versus Becky to Monday Night Raw this past week on the 23rd of June, rather than saving it for this actual weekend at Night of Champions. And we officially have the announcement of the quotes unquote retirement match of Goldberg versus Gunther announced for Saturday night's main event instead of, again, here on the show that's literally called Night of Champions. We have more non-title matches on this show than title matches for Night of Champions. So yeah, I'm kind of pissed off about that. I don't feel like it because even if you were to say, hey, well, we know that the winners of King and Queen of the Ring automatically get a guaranteed shot at a champion at SummerSlam, you could just do the tournament finals after this show and not at this show. Then you still have the titles defended, and then you still have to have your winners for King and Queen of the Ring. The thing that aggravates me is that when they originally debuted this pay-per-view platform years ago, the first Night of Champions, they literally stated the one night a year, this is what they said, the one night a year where every quote unquote championship belt will be on the line in the company. That is how this show was originally sold and started over nearly 15 years ago. That was how it was sold. To go from every single title will be up for grabs on one night of the year to really build the buzz for it. To, hey, we got like 5 matches tonight and only 2 of them are title matches. One's a street fight. One's just a one-on-one with Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. And then one is, and then 2 are tournament finals. And then 2 are actually title matches. It's like.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I kind of feel like the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring are also kind of considered some type of champions, no? Because they're the champion of the King of the Ring and the champion of the Queen of the Ring, right?
I mean, essentially, I'm sure they're going to get crowned they're going to get the crowns like last year, and probably those King and Queen of the Ring. I think they got like title belts last year or something for winning King and Queen of the Ring, or something like that. I don't think that was it though. I don't believe that, but the point is, yeah, it's a title in a sense, like in name. Hey, you're the Queen and King of the Ring, but you're just a number one contender. Once you win tonight or that night on Saturday, you're a number one contender, not a champion.
I think the only match here where we can really say that this has nothing to do with any type of championships or anything is what Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross, because you have Raquel versus Rhea. That's a non-title match. However, Raquel Rodriguez is one half of the women's tag team champions. So
I mean, she's a champion in the match, yes, but she's not defending, and it's in singles and not in her own division. So, I mean, I can see where, hey, we still have another champion, quote unquote, on the show, and they're going to announce her as one half of the women's tag team champions, but it's not her defending the title. The title will hold no spotlight in this match. It's just, hey, the champion of that division is getting highlighted on the show in a match, and that's it.
yeah. So with that being said, I was kind of hoping I can change your mind there a little bit as far as, this does kind of feel like a night of champions in other different ways, not in like the sense that every single match is a title shot, but we are going to be crowning a King of the Ring champion, a Queen of the Ring champion. Raquel Rodriguez is a champion. We're going to see 2 championship matches. So just look at it in the brighter side, Mr. Blood.
When I look at it this way, I can say this. Every single person on the card wrestling Saturday night has been a champion at some point. There's not a single person on the card that has not been a champion in WWE at some point. Even Karrion was a champion in NXT. So everybody on this card is champion material. That I can say.
Well, with that, I think we can get started with the matches here, and I want to start off with Rhea Ripley, good old Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. This is a match that I've been asking for this match for a while. I've been wanting to see Raquel Rodriguez in a better spot, and her being partnered up with Liv Morgan, who's injured right now. That's a great look for Raquel Rodriguez because Liv Morgan is a top star. She's getting this match versus Rhea Ripley at Night of Champions. It's not really like a really heated personal feud with Rhea Ripley, but at least it's a singles match versus Rhea Ripley in a PLE, and I think hopefully this is just the beginning for Raquel Rodriguez. So I'm looking forward to this match. After Monday Night Raw, Raquel threw Rhea Ripley through the table. Who do you guys got to win this one?
I'm going to go ahead and say I think Rhea's going to win it, unless there are specifically shenanigans from Roxanne. Because Roxanne did come down this past Monday night and get involved, and she's the reason that the Tejana bomb was successful on Rhea, which I thought was a great spot, by the way. I thought that crash to the table was nice. It was crunchy. It was gnarly. Rhea sold the hell out of it. And we saw a glimmer of what looks to be Roxanne and Raquel getting on the same page. Therefore, one could assume in a street fight, this is a no disqualification match, i.e., there is no way in hell that Roxanne Perez does not get involved as well on Saturday unless she decided not to fly out to Saudi with them. But on the off chance that she did, I'm going to assume that she is getting involved in this match. And I would also assume with the two of them, the numbers game, there's a high likely chance that Raquel could win too. For now, I'm going to say Rhea prevails, fights through, but I think Raquel wins thanks to help from Roxanne Perez.
I'm on the same page with Blood. I think Rhea's winning, but the only way I see Roxanne winning, yeah, Roxanne's totally in this match. The only way I see Raquel winning is by Roxanne if she flew out to Saudi, knowing what's happening right now, but I'm not going to get into that. Yeah.
I do agree that the odds-on choice here is Rhea Ripley, but I'm not going Rhea. I think Roxanne is, in fact, going over there. It would be her first show in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. She has not been there. So obviously she would want to be there. So my money is actually on Raquel Rodriguez. As much as I love Rhea Ripley, my money is on Raquel because I think Roxanne Perez does go over there. I think she's already there right now, which odds are they are. But my guess here is Roxanne is there. She will get involved because obviously she will. My money is on Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah, everyone that I've spoken to about this all has the same prediction. This is how you get Roxanne to get accepted by Raquel Rodriguez, and this is how you get that replacement that later on is going to turn into, drama and more issues within the Judgment Day when Liv Morgan comes back. So I definitely see that happening. It makes sense. I mean, everything that you guys said, Raquel going over with the help of Roxanne. And I'm with that because again, I want to see Raquel get some wins and get some wins over some important people like Rhea Ripley. So I think, you're not going to get any disagreements from me on this one. Raquel Rodriguez, she's going to win this one with help of Roxanne Perez. Pretty easy, right? All right, you guys, let's move on to the next match here. Let's go Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross, finally, it seems like everything that's been happening has been working for Karrion Kross's favor. Karrion Kross has been screwing with Sami Zayn just to get on TV, it seems like. And he's been doing this for months. Karrion Kross has been messing with Xavier Woods backstage. He got a match out of him. And then he went to AJ Styles. He got a match out of him. But I want to say he's had like 3 TV matches in the past, 6 months or something crazy like that. So poor Karrion Kross, he's finally going to get a shot at a PLE versus a big star like Sami Zayn. The people have been asking for this. I can't wait to see this. It's going to be tricky, though, because Sami Zayn, he's basically in a second home out there in Saudi Arabia. He's over as can be. But this is also, will the fans in Saudi Arabia accept Karrion Kross? I mean, the fans in the United States love Karrion Kross, but we're going to a whole nother country now with this one, and I don't see Sami Zayn getting pinned in Saudi Arabia. But what do you guys think?
I gotta say, it's kind of difficult because if I remember correctly, the last time that Sami wrestled in a high-profile match in Saudi Arabia was when he versed Roman. Or was that when they were in? Yeah, so like for me, the fans accepted him and he still lost. But as far as it's concerned, this is difficult to place, right? Because Karrion is getting organically over with the internet community and with the fans and live attendance back here in the States. It is very difficult to say how they would react to him in Saudi Arabia because I don't mean this any type of way. But whenever WWE goes over to Saudi Arabia, it feels more like an obligation. It feels more like they're there just to be entertainment for the prince, right? It doesn't feel like the fans in attendance are really fans, in my opinion. It feels like they're just there to witness a spectacle from America that they never see. I don't know if I'm the only one who's ever felt that way, but that's how I feel when I watch. It feels like it's a dog and pony show and that those fans are there for the entertainment because they don't ever get something that massive over there. But it's a thing to do. So for me, I don't know if he gets the reception, but that's what makes it difficult to tell if Karrion could go over. Because you got to think, on Monday when Sami punched him in the face and he waited till he walked off, Scarlett tells him, "You can stop now. and he just turned out he was laughing his ass off, and he's like, "We got him." Something's got to be up Karrion's sleeve, right? It couldn't just be he eats a pin. That's got to lead to something. All this manipulation has to lead to something. So, and I don't know if that comes down to the booking where Sammy maybe can't put Karrion away, or Scarlett's constantly getting involved until the point where Sammy loses his shit and snaps, or something else happens later in that night. I don't know. I truly don't. But I feel like this has to culminate somewhere. But again, I do believe Sammy is turning heel at some point. I don't think it's here, but Karrion, I think, is going to be directly involved with the heel turn regarding Sami Zayn. So for the winner, I'm going to say Karrion because I feel like it needs a payoff.
You know, I hate this match only for one reason, and it's because it's like the Monday match with Cody and Jay. I can't pick a winner. I like Sammy Uso. Karrion is over as fuck. I can't pick. Yes, I agree that eventually down the line, Sammy is going to turn heel because of Karrion, because everyone that Karrion has talked to, except for AJ Styles, has turned heel. The Miz, Xavier Woods, and Kofi Kingston. I just can't pick. But if I were to pick, if I'm in the mind of Triple H, I'm like, okay, Karrion is over as hell right now, so why not make him win over in Saudi? To get him over with their people, because he's over as hell in the United States, but he's maybe not over there, so why not just do that? I don't know, but it's hard to pick, but I'm picking Karrion.
I am also going Karrion Kross here. But unlike the two of you, I have a theory. As Toxic has already said, almost every person that has talked or even been around in some sort of way, Karrion Kross has turned heel. Including, Tox, you forgot this one, KO. Yeah, Kevin Owens talked to him at one point. He turned heel on like an off-camera thing. So, here's what I'm going to say. It's still a possibility he might turn heel in Saudi. What match, you may ask? Cody and Randy are right there. They're right there for that final. I think so, yeah. I think that would be one hell of a way to turn heel on a match that two of his closest friends are in.
In that situation, then
In this trio of friends, both of y'all are saying Randy. Cody doesn't really have a good track record with friends not turning heel on him. Kevin Owens did. He's been around a ton of friends that have turned heel on him at some point, including Seth. He didn't turn heel on Cody particularly, but he still turned heel and targeted him in some sort of way. I think maybe Cody, but Randy's also there, so I'm not sure. Randy is the one that took him out of the tournament.
yeah, I mean it's an interesting theory. It's kind of hard to predict though because we've also been hearing rumors of, Cody might be turning heel pretty soon, and they're in Saudi Arabia. Like, I mean, I guess some people would say, yeah, if Sammy turns heel in Saudi Arabia, in front of the people that really love him, that would be some heat, But I just, I think they're going to play this thing out more with Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. And I'm in it for the long run when it comes to these two. I want to see what they can cook up. Um, maybe Sami Zayn turns Kross babyface. I mean, the people have been cheering for Karrion Kross, but I want to see Karrion Kross win this match. That's for sure. Karrion Kross, I want to see him get a win. So I'm going to go with Karrion Kross, even though I have a really bad feeling that's not going to go down. It's not going to go down like that. But I'm going to put it out there in the world. I'm going to manifest it. Karrion Kross is going to go over Sami Zayn at Night of Champions. All right, y'all. We're going through these pretty quickly. Let's get this match out of the way. Jade Cargill and Asuka, the finals for the Queen of the Ring. Asuka just came back and she went straight to, the end of this tournament. Jade Cargill, I think from the beginning, it was pretty obvious that she was going to make it to the finals, but it is Asuka. She came back hot. And I think we all want to see Asuka versus Io Sky. So who do you guys got to win this one?
Please, for the love of almighty tap dancing Christ, be Asuka. I think, and you know what? I believe I speak for everybody in this fucking panel right now. And the majority of people that are fans already on the IWC or just, whatever. Jade is nowhere near ready. Jade can't handle a match on NXT, in my opinion. The fact that we said this on Monday, but look, she was in AEW. They protected her in AEW. She came to WWE. She appears in the Rumble. They realize, oh shit, you can't wrestle. AEW trained you wrong. They spent another 4 to 5 months retraining her. And then they had to pair her with Bianca so Bianca could continue to protect all of her weaknesses in the ring. She was with Bianca for 5 months? And then we get her on an injury. Now she's gone for another 3 months, comes back. She's still missing her spots, still off as hell in the ring. There's something, it's just, she is a great entertainer. She is an incredible, charismatic entertainer. She is not in ring confident. She's mistiming. She can sell. That's great until the moment she forgets how to sell. Like we saw on Monday, she was selling the left knee. And then at the last 3 minutes of the match,
Streamlabs, what the fuck you doing to us, man? Come on.
What happened
Perfectly
to
timed,
him?
too.
What happened to him? No. Oh, this is going to be such a bitch. Today is not our day, y'all. Today is not our day.
Bro,
More
get
editing for Snug.
off the rails.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to this one, man. This one is going to be a tough one to edit, huh?
Yeah, this one's definitely going to be bitch to edit.
All right, he's back. Let me bring him in.
did I leave at?
What was the last thing he said? Anyone remember?
At the last 3 minutes of the match.
Okay. So she can sell until she forgets how to sell. Last 3 minutes of the match on Monday Night Raw, she literally was selling that knee until she forgot to sell the knee. She finished the match forgetting to sell the knee. So as far as I'm concerned, it's got to be Asuka. Asuka and Io is a much more tantalizing match for the hardcore fan, especially the fan that really wants to see a workhorse work rate match that looks stiff, looks like it fucking hurts, and feels like Fight Forever. The Queens of Strong style. It's that simple. That would be a great SummerSlam match. I say give it to Asuka.
I wouldn't mind seeing Jade win, but I think it has to be Asuka because she just came back, and that's not the excuse for everything. That's why I think Asuka should win. But no, she has this big momentum. Like last week, she had I think it was on commercial. She had a backstage with Io saying like, "If I win, I'll see you at SummerSlam." she's on fire right now, and because she came back and people are loving her more. Not that they didn't, but you get my point. But I wouldn't mind seeing Jade versus Tiffany again, even though we've seen it on a SmackDown. And to me, that's just not SummerSlam material. To me, I want some people that have had history together, being Asuka and Io. They had history in what is no longer Damage Control. So I'm picking Asuka.
It's kind of obvious here. On one hand, you have a title match where neither of them really seem like championship material in Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton. Like, neither of them are championship material there. On the other hand, you have the great and powerful Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, going head to head with Io Sky, the genius of the sky. The choice is obvious here. And it is Asuka to be Queen of the Ring. And for eventually, at SummerSlam, for her to go head to head with Io Sky. In fact, Toxic, in that backstage thing, Io was all excited and all of that. It's like, once you win, we'll go up against each other for the title, just like we talked about in Damage Control. Asuka's response: we are no longer in Damage Control. I'll see you at SummerSlam. I think that match there is a way bigger match than Tiffany versus Jade. It is a way bigger match than that. So I'm going Asuka.
I have a feeling it's going to be Jade. I mean, I'm just thinking, when is SummerSlam, by the way? Anyone know the date yet?
I think it's
August 1st and 2nd.
Yeah.
All right, so we got let's say about a month, a little bit over a month, right?
A month and a week.
About a month and a week. I can see Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton for a SummerSlam match. Because if it's Asuka that wins it and we get Asuka versus Io at SummerSlam, who do you put Tiffany Stratton up against at SummerSlam, and how?
Anyone else? Here's my thing. If you get Jade versus Tiffany, I got a question for you. After what we watched at WrestleMania, who walks who through the match? So because
the referee again, Jessica Carr.
Because if you remember, Charlotte Flair had to walk Tiffany through most of that WrestleMania 41 match. You can audibly see her calling spots because Tiffany looks lost half the time. Jade is lost 80% of the time. So you put two people who need to be led through a match by real ring generals in the same match. I don't want to see that match. It'll be a train wreck. So whoever goes up against Tiffany, it's got to be, let it be like maybe Bianca, and then Naomi cashes in if Bianca wins.
Yeah, but Bianca hasn't been on TV in weeks.
True. But just an idea. I mean, I say anybody that Naomi's already had beef with goes up against Tiffany, because I do believe we get a Naomi cash in at SummerSlam. I have this weird feeling that we're going to get I think we're getting a lot of massive moments at SummerSlam. It's the first ever 2-night SummerSlam. People keep forgetting how major an event this is going to be for WWE, which means it's going to need major moments. And I think Naomi cashes in there some way, somehow on Tiffany. It's possible we get Tiffany versus Nia one more time, because Naomi does have history with both of those two women. And every time so far that Naomi has tried to cash in, there's Nia Jax to tell her no.
Yeah, There's Naomi has been trying to cash in every week. Well, it's only been a couple weeks since Money in the Bank, but every week, and Nia Jax has been there to stop her, right? I can see Naomi cashing in before SummerSlam, and then we get a Naomi versus Bianca at SummerSlam. That I would like to see. And the reason I think that's how it's going to go down is because before Liv Morgan got injured on Monday Night Raw, she had a little segment there with Io Sky. And I think that was the beginning of them setting up perhaps a Liv Morgan versus Io Sky at SummerSlam. So if Liv Morgan is able to come back and still make it to SummerSlam, I can see Jade Cargill winning at Night of Champions. She goes on to face Tiffany Stratton, and then we get Liv Morgan versus Io Sky at SummerSlam.
I would love that. I would love it if we didn't already know they expect Liv to be out for a minimum of 4 to 6 months because she has to get surgery on her shoulder.
Ah, that's right.
That's the only bummer there, because I like where you're going. I like where your head's at, and it makes sense. And Liv has got some of the best story possibilities, in my opinion, that surround her. Out of every woman in the women's division, Liv always feels like she has the most possibility. And I really like that about her character. To lose her right now, especially before Evolution, especially before the next Saturday night's main event, especially at Night of Champions, where we could have had a women's tag match, and especially before SummerSlam. I mean, they had to throw out the entire Evolution pay-per-view already and start from scratch, because everything at that show was apparently going to be surrounding Liv Morgan. That tells you how important she is. So that means they probably had to pivot with whatever they're doing with Io.
That's
and
right,
Tiffany.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Well, then in that case, yeah, let's see Asuka go over Jade Cargill, and then we get Asuka versus Io Sky.
It'd be one hell of a match
at SummerSlam. All right, Charles. So we pretty much all agreed on pretty much all these matches so far. Let's see if we can switch it up, since we're talking about the finals of the Queen of the Ring. Let's go on to the King of the Ring. This is another one of the matches that I'm really, really looking forward to. And I think this one, we're not going to agree on this at all whatsoever. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. Who do you got?
Man, this one is going to be interesting. I have one of my favorites right now of the whole new generation in Cody Rhodes. And I've got Randy, one of the most integral professional wrestlers to my actual love of professional wrestling. Remember, he was on my Mount Rushmore when we did the Rushmore videos. And also the fact that these two are very close friends. And like I said, I was hoping that we would get Cody v. Randy if Randy was a heel, because I wanted a personal betrayal story between the two of them to really flesh that out for the rest of the year. That being said, we could, unless they do the stupid unthinkable of having Goldberg go over on Gunther, then we would get the Randy Gunther rematch, right? I don't need to see Randy versus Goldberg. You can keep that shit in a paper bag and throw it in the dumpster. Because Randy just came back from spinal fusion surgery. I don't need Goldberg to drop him on his head. You know what I'm saying? And as far as concerned, when it comes to Cody winning, I would love to see Cody and Gunther run it back. We've only gotten that once. I would love to see Cody versus Gunther, and I would love to see Cody versus John. But Tommy, calm the fuck down. I would love to see Cody versus, I don't even know what the fuck he's saying. He could. I'm just saying the possibilities of the matchups. So, their respective brands. Okay, so well then they need to stop appearing on each other's shows. As far as it's concerned, if Cody wins, we get John Cody too. That, however, leaves the Money in the Bank contract. That right there is where Seth fucking Rollins finally scores a win over Cody Rhodes, because I got a feeling if we get Cody v. John at SummerSlam, that's where John's title reign ends. And the moment Cody fucking pins him, he's going to get his ass jumped to Kingdom Come by Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, and then Seth is going to waltz right down there, curb stomp his head into oblivion. And 1, 2, 3, you have a new undisputed champion. And on top of that, John's going to go away for a little while so he can keep those last couple dates, probably return as a babyface. And you got to think, well, Seth can finally say, I beat Cody Rhodes, because they're 3-0 right now. So as far as it's concerned, I think Cody wins, because we already had John versus Randy once this year. That was the first title match he had. I don't need to see that again. I really don't. So I want Cody v. John 2 out of the way so we can get to Roman coming back.
Oh, man, I'm in a tough place again. These two are my all-time favorites, but I have to pick Randy. I have to pick Randy because he was in the finals last year against Gunther, and that was controversial. They tried to cover it up with Bash in Berlin. They still didn't do it, in my opinion. So what a better way to cover that up with making him win this year. I mean, they brought it up in the first Fatal 4-Way that he was in against LA Knight, Alistair, and Carmelo. They brought it up. Yeah, they brought it up that.
But didn't you guys just tell me that the winner goes for their respective championship brand?
Okay, Blood. The bracket went 4 people from Raw, 4 people from SmackDown, 4 people from SmackDown,
yes.
4 people from Raw.
Yes, Randy's on SmackDown.
Yes.
So how would he challenge Gunther? Yes, but how would he challenge Gunther, you're saying?
He wouldn't. He would. No.
Okay. I was trying to figure that out because it sounded like you wanted to run it back from last year. Okay.
Let me finish. What a way. You could cover the controversy up with him last year losing to Gunther, with him beating Cody. And plus, I just want to see Cody. I know Blood doesn't, but I want to see Randy versus John because, no offense, but R-Truth fucked it up. Randy was right there. He was about to punt John Cena's head. Punt it. He was about to. And then just Truth. But I gotta go Randy because there's too much controversy around him for last year, and also because I just want to see them run it back because Truth screwed it up.
Tox, you're the Lone Star, man. I'm sorry, but you're the Lone Star. I'm going Cody here. I have had this. I have been saying this for quite a bit now. When Blood said that the one that should take the title off of John is LA Knight, that's when I started saying that this is how I think this is going to go down. Cena not Cena. Yeah, Cena still wins his. We'll get to that later. Cody wins this. He faces Cena at SummerSlam. He loses that. And I think the final night, LA Knight finally comes out and says, hey, yo, you tagged with me. Let's go one-on-one. Let's go. Put that title on the line. I think it's about time that title becomes to the man where everybody's saying L.A. Knight. I think that's how that's going to go down. I think Knight will be the one to take that title off of Cena. I don't think it's Cody.
I knew that this fucking match was going to be the match that fucking divided all of us, and I love it. I'm going Randy Orton, y'all. I love Cody. I'm a huge Cody crybaby for life. But I gotta agree with Toxic, man. I was there at WrestleMania for Cody versus Cena. Already seen it. I'm over it. I don't need to see it again. However, Randy versus Cena, I think because of the history, I think because of how their last match went at, what was it, Backlash, and just the way that Randy Orton has been built like the last few months, I think the bigger match at SummerSlam is Randy Orton versus John Cena. And I feel like right now I'm at the point also where, like I said, I love Cody, but I'm kind of over it. I'm when he comes on my TV, yes, it's still good. It's still entertaining. I enjoy the promos. But next, that's how I feel sometimes. I think it's time for Cody to get a fresh coat of paint, a new coat of paint. And yeah, I'm kind of hoping Randy versus Cena at SummerSlam, y'all.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
If you were at Mania 41, which you were, and you saw Cody John and you're like, seen it, why on earth do you not feel the same way about John versus Randy, which we've seen hundreds of times? Hundreds. And half of them for championship matches.
The last time I saw Randy versus Cena was at Backlash, right? So that was after Mania. But what was the last time we saw them before that?
I think it was like 2013 or 14 when they had the unified title match.
And I can't even remember that match. So it's been years.
Yeah. It's just, you guys are saying, oh, because R-Truth messed it up. What's to stop him from doing it again? You know? So
Being a more serious truth.
yeah, a guy who wants to jump John Cena at every turn. So what's to stop him from doing it again? So,
yeah.
he could ruin the match a second time. So why would you want to see it again? You know what I'm saying? It run back the exact same match, play by play, same finish.
But it's a different R-Truth. When R-Truth interfered in that match at Backlash, he was like trying to do the right thing, you know? I don't think R-Truth would blatantly go out there and cause Randy Orton the match on purpose, you know?
I mean, he kind of already proved that he's willing to. He screwed Aleister Black out of a match when he attacked Kit Wilson.
Gives a crap.
Yeah, but he still proved he's willing to interject in someone else's business just to get a point across. He's proven that now. So it's kind of like, do you really want to see Randy versus John again, or do you want to see Cody versus John with the threat of Seth Rollins looming over, the threat of The Rock possibly returning, the threat of Roman Reigns possibly returning, all the booking that could happen if you run Cody versus John back again?
Seth Rollins
and they fix the problems they messed up at Mania.
Seth Rollins can still be looming in that match if it's Cena versus Randy Orton.
True. But to fix what they fucked up at 41, with not The Rock being there like he should have been, leaving Travis Scott's ass out of it, interjecting a Money in the Bank cash in potentially, there's so many ways that they can make this version better and as an apology to the fans for what 41's match was. And they still swerve us in the end. You know what I'm saying? Because we still need Roman to return. Who we need. Like, what if Seth tries to cash in and then all of a sudden we hear Roman's music? And now Roman is saving not only Cody, but John. Then we're setting up for War Games.
I think I'm good if The Rock and Travis Scott never come back again.
That's fair.
So I'm gonna stick with my prediction, and I'm gonna go.
No, that's fair. I was just asking because I tell you what, I wouldn't hate seeing a no choice team up at War Games of Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Jey Uso, and potentially Sami Zayn versus heel John Cena fucking Seth and his team, and a couple of other heels. I wouldn't hate it if SummerSlam sets that shit up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah. I mean, we can still get that either way.
Oh.
But let's move on, y'all. This match with Cody and Randy Orton is going to be crazy. That's for sure. All right. For the United States Championship, my boy Solo Sikoa versus what? Where'd Tommy go? I wanted Tommy to do that Jacob Fatu thing he loves to do. God damn it. Anyway, Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu, United States Championship, y'all. This is another one that I'm really looking forward to, but who do you guys got?
I already said it last week on Friday Night SmackDown, as did you, we all agreed on this. Solo Sikoa is winning. I could have swore Toxic said as much as he hates it, it's going to happen. But Solo Sikoa has to be taking the damn thing off of Jacob Fatu. Jacob's already held it since prior to Mania at this point. As far as it's concerned, or he won it at Mania. But the point is that I feel like Jacob is a better chaser. I feel like the crowd is behind him more when he's chasing rather than holding. I feel like the moment he won it, the crowd slowly started to lose interest in him as champion because he already proved he could get the damn thing. So they like watching him fight for it because he's so ferocious when he fights for it. But I think Solo Sikoa wins with dirty tactics, man. I think Solo Sikoa is going to come in and I think Solo Sikoa and him are going to have a decent match. I think just when Jacob's going to win, a couple things might happen. Mute yourself. We're either going to get what I'm assuming is going to be JC Mateo interfering with a potential Hikuleo call up and surprise attack. Jimmy Uso is going to come in to try to even the odds and help Jacob. But the problem is they're going to wind up being outnumbered because it's going to be literally, Solo, JC Mateo, and Hikuleo versus only Jacob and only Jimmy. But I'm wondering if at some point we're going to get a return of Tama and Tonga as a baby face to side with Jacob and Jimmy for feeling like they got replaced. So I definitely think Solo wins, and I think it's due to probably a call up of Hikuleo, and we're going to go from there. But I think Solo, people think he's a laughing stock and everything, but in all fairness, I think Solo is actually long overdue for a mid-card championship. I think they should have given him a mid-card title when he was in the fucking bloodline originally. Because Jimmy and Jay had the tag titles. Roman had the freaking undisputed championship. He should have had the fucking United States title or the Intercontinental Championship, one of them, to prove that all of them were championship material. They should have given that shit to him forever ago.
Yeah, I thought Jacob was gonna retain, but I mean, didn't we say the same thing about LA Knight when he lost it to Shinsuke, that he's better chasing, but now we want him to win the world title. But I just have that fear that that's what Solo's gonna be. He's gonna get the mid card title, and then we're gonna. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of Jake. Brain, work, please. I think that's what Jacob's gonna be. Sorry. We're saying Blood said that Jacob is better chasing, that he thinks it. I think that he's better as the champion, but I wouldn't hate it if Solo, as much as I do hate it, if he won. So I do have Solo winning this. Not a lot of thoughts about this, but it's inevitable that Solo's going to have to win that eventually for the story-wise.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go Solo. As much as I love Jacob Fatu as United States champion, because of the fact that he looks so dominant with that title on. He's going to lose it to Solo, unfortunately. Who do I think will help him, though? Mateo. Mateo is still... Jeff Cobb, JC Mateo, same fucking person. Shut up, Toxic. But I think Jeff Cobb Mateo, the full name, will get involved, and I think he will help out Solo Sikoa to get that United States title.
I don't think Jacob Fatu needs a championship. I think Jacob Fatu, he's amazing with or without a title. Yes, a title says that you're one of the best, that you are, you're a big star, and he is. He's all of those things. But I think the United States title would look not just like because it would look better on Solo, but like I want to see more of Solo on TV. Like I want him to show his personality more. I want him to show like some of that goofy side that we've been seeing a little bit on TV. That's getting over. And if Solo Sikoa wins the United States title, I feel like we'll be able to see more of that. I don't think we've seen all of what Solo Sikoa is capable of. Not only that, but he's beaten John Cena. He's beaten did he pin Roman at one point?
Yeah, he pinned Roman at Crown Jewel 2024 in a 6-man tag with Tama and Jacob versus Roman, Jimmy, and Jay.
Thank you, Toxic. Don't know what I'd do without you. But Solo has won some great fucking matches in his time. And he should be a champion, I think. And what better way to be like, hey, I beat Jacob Fatu, I beat Cena, I beat Roman. I'm the man. And, why not get a little help in there? This would be a good way to bring in a new guy. Jacob Fatu left his little group, so, let's bring in someone else. Also, if Jacob Fatu loses at Night of Champions, that can open another door for him to move up even higher on the card. I mean, why not? Some people might say Jacob Fatu's not ready for that main event scene. I think he is. I think he would do great up there with the Punks and the Romans and, the Cenas, the Randys. If we get Roman Reigns to come back, we got Jimmy Uso lining himself up with Jacob Fatu. Can you imagine if Jacob Fatu lines himself up with Roman Reigns? I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of good things that could come out of Solo Sikoa winning the United States title. So I'm going to go with Solo Sikoa. All right, y'all. The main event, well, at least I think this is going to be the main event, is John Cena versus CM Punk. And I don't think, all these predictions that we've been talking about SummerSlam, we haven't even mentioned CM Punk. Did you guys notice that? I don't think anyone actually believes that CM Punk is going to beat John Cena at Night of Champions. But what if he does?
This is the one that the fucking rational, logical booker in me says CM Punk's not winning. Then the diehard CM Punk ride or die loyalist fan with cult of personality as my freaking ringtone says, give it to my boy, please. This is the one match I hate for the sake of I'm torn between the logical part of my brain that knows that what I want to happen won't. And then I'm torn to the other half that's like, no, they could still shock us and give it to us. And I'm holding on to false hope because I actually could see Punk winning here in a sense, because if Punk wins here and goes on to, let's say, SummerSlam. Okay, he's at SummerSlam. That means, well, who's going to face him at SummerSlam potentially? It's got to be your respective brand partner or your brand person, right? So you've got to imagine that he's not going to have Cody or Randy, who were on SmackDown, facing him well, actually, hold on. I'm talking myself in a corner here. Let me restart. I can see CM Punk winning because if it goes to SummerSlam with Punk as champion, I could see Cody versus CM Punk. Here's why. We legitimately already had a face-to-face interaction with these two when Cody was still champion. And Punk looked at him and said, look, all these guys are going to stab you in the back, but I'm your friend. I'm going to look you in the eye and I'm going to stab you in the front. So if he winds up being the champion, we could get Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk at SummerSlam, which in my opinion is a much bigger match than Randy versus John 200,000. And then you've got the briefcase hanging over CM Punk's head. I think that would be awesome. You now not only have Cody and fucking Punk right there in prime position, but now you've got the one guy who currently is now pissed off and hates them both. He hates CM Punk the most, Seth Rollins, but he now feels conflicted and upset and angry with the guy he helped finish his story and has history with. That is a much bigger match to me. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck my logicality. I'm going to say it. CM Punk wins because that match at SummerSlam is bigger than any other match that they could book for SummerSlam. I swear. That's the match. I'm calling Punk wins. Punk versus Cody Rhodes, SummerSlam. Cash in by Seth freaking Rollins.
As much as I want to say Punk, I have a crazy prediction. What if Cena retains? You have the winner of King of the Ring. Punk says, obviously Cena would try to cheat. Punk says, no, I did not get a fair shot. I want in this match. And it turns into a triple threat. I know, Snug's like, yay, my favorite. Hear me out, though. The end of the match at SummerSlam, we hear, burn it down. And then it would turn into a fatal four-way. Seth cashing in successfully, turning into a fatal four-way, which I'm pretty sure would be the first ever to do that. To turn it into a fatal four-way. We've already got it and turned into a triple threat. And then that's how you get Seth to win the undisputed WWE Championship, because I don't think he's going to cash in on Gunther. I think if he hated Punk so much, he would do that. Screw him. So, as much as I want to say Punk, I'm saying John.
I love it. I love it, Toxic.
Yeah, everything that Toxic just said, it fits so well. But at the same time, everything that Blood just said has me in the middle now. Because of the fact that before, I was so adamant that John Cena was going to retain. And then Blood's over here saying that the biggest match would be a thing that they have hinted at for 2 years now. Don't forget, after, right before this year's WrestleMania and all of that, the exact same type of conversation happened before last year's WrestleMania. 2 years in a row, they have hinted at a Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk match for a title. 2 years in a row. Right before the same pay-per-view, too. Right before the same PLE. Both of them right before WrestleMania. So I am now at a point where I don't fucking know. I'm looking at both sides here. I'm like, that would be a great match to have at SummerSlam. One of the greatest matches to have at SummerSlam. But at the same time, Cena's on his farewell tour right now, which would eventually bring in his little tag team thing with LA Knight. And then the big question is, what the hell is next for Cena if he loses this title? That's the biggest question here. If he loses the undisputed title on Saturday, what the hell is next? Toxic, I don't think Dominic's ready. For all of the people who are listening exclusively, Toxic is holding up his Intercontinental title. Here's the problem. Just like Austin Theory wasn't ready, I don't think Dominic is either. Yes, he is absolutely main event material. But to go head to head with one of the best damn people on the mic that would toast him burnt. This man would burn the crap out of him. I get what you're hinting at, Toxic, but I don't think Dominic is ready for John Cena. I just don't. So I'm going Cena here.
I find it hard to believe that we are expected to believe that just because John Cena has a limited, dates left, and he's going to be working in the WWE for another 6 months, limited dates, that we're expected to believe that he's going to be champion the entire time. It kind of goes back to what we were talking about when it comes to Goldberg. He's not going to win because they just told us that this is going to be his final match. So what? Just because John Cena is here 6 more months, that means he's going to be champion for the rest of the time? I don't think so. At some point, John Cena has to lose the title. There's no way he's going to take off with it. Someone has to beat him. And I think it would be kind of shitty if they just keep feeding people for John Cena to beat. Not that there's anything wrong with losing to John Cena until December, until his final dates. What better person to defeat John Cena than CM Punk, especially after all that fucking craziness that went down with the pipe bomb? I want to see CM Punk win it because the story that CM Punk and John Cena are telling, John Cena is trying to do the same thing that CM Punk did in 2011, which is leave with the championship. John Cena wants to leave with the championship, just how CM Punk did, right? John Cena wants to ruin wrestling. CM Punk is now Mr. TKO. He's not against TKO. He's a millionaire. He's a capitalist now, right? How John Cena put it. So this version of CM Punk, which is not the version of CM Punk in 2011, turns out to be the savior of this thing that John Cena is trying to do, which is ruin wrestling, take off with the title. I think it makes perfect sense for CM Punk to beat John Cena in this situation. So I'm going to go with CM Punk. I know I sound crazy. And also hearing what you guys said, Mr. Blood, how, Cody versus Punk at SummerSlam. Please take my money.
Put it in my veins, bro.
Yeah.
What if neither of them walk out? How would you feel if you are right and CM Punk does win? But of course, with his hatred of him, burn it down. And then all of a sudden, Seth cashes in on...
It would be kind of a karma's a bitch, no? Because
yeah, but then that leads to Cody v. Seth 4 at SummerSlam.
That is true.
And also, I think if you have a situation where Punk is a champion and Seth is a briefcase holder, you kind of have to build that up. I mean, they have been building that up already.
Seth is going to want to fuck with Punk for a minute. He's going to want to mess with his head for a minute because he's all about payback with Punk.
God, I hope CM Punk wins.
Dude, talk about it'd be my most favorite SummerSlam ever because we never got Cody versus Punk in AEW. Unfortunately, they were ships in the night, so it never happened. And that was one match people really wanted to see. Could you imagine two of the most popular, biggest names in all of professional wrestling at the first ever 2-night event SummerSlam, the biggest SummerSlam of all fucking time? Main event, Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk with a cash in from Seth fucking Rollins at the end. That would be insanity.
I can't wait.
Inject into my veins. Take my.
Here's why I say it's hard being stuck in the middle here. What if Punk does win, and until next year's WrestleMania, Seth does nothing but tease the fuck out of it, and then Heist of the Century 2.0 coming from Seth?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's possible, but all I know is we have to get to Punk hopefully winning first. That's the thing. We got to get to Punk winning. We got to get to that main event and hope that we get the ending that we want, because I am telling you right now, I will fucking do a triple backflip and end up in the hospital because I'm no longer a gymnast and I can't plant those anymore. And I will be in a full body cast like this in the hospital for SummerSlam.
That would be the fucking ultimate swerve if CM Punk wins at Night of Champions. Yeah.
Oh, dude, talk about subverting expectations, bro. I mean, and Triple H likes doing that. So here's hope, gentlemen. But if there's nothing else, guys, that was the Night of Champions prediction video here on Snug Wrestling. Are we ready to get out of here? All right. So with that being said, I have been Mr. Blood. This is Toxic. That's Tommy, and our fearless leader, Edgar, the creator of Snug Wrestling, here for our Night of Champions predictions. You can catch us every Monday and Friday night after the shows go off the air, Raw and SmackDown respectively, right on Apple and Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, for our actual reactions and reviews of the show, in real-time reactions from Snug Wrestling as the shows are actually going on, posted to Instagram and TikTok in real time. And you can catch me and Snug every single Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central on TikTok Live, where we do one-on-ones tomorrow. Fantasy booking Evolution 2. And we will see you Friday night for the SmackDown review. Until then, stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug. 4 letters. 1